We're waiting in Carol Noonan here, and we're going to keep this in the edit. You see, this was scheduled for 5 hours ago, and she's got some kind of really important message to deliver. We've managed to do a thing called improve the picture by doing a thing called be quiet. I'm speaking. She won't even do what I say.
No, I won't.
We've done a thing called clean the lens of the camera, right? Now, the problem about that is it's done a thing called allow a picture to be seen. So the fecking webcam she's ordered, she doesn't bloody need. But she doesn't have them. So what we're doing is we're not using the new web camera, but now that she's cleaned the fecking lens, we'll pretend.
£23 I paid.
£23. You're probably better off keeping the one you've got. Now you've done a thing called clean it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you get away with this. I'm being brutal. Brutal. So we'll record there and we'll record there, here. Okay, in all seriousness, or being serious, you sent some messages this morning about some companies in the Malvern mountain area.
I did, Miles, but that wasn't this morning. That was about a week ago. I had a dream, and I can't even remember what it was, but I kind of wanted to keep it private. But anyway, it's out the bag now. So I had this dream.
We haven't mentioned the name of the companies, but one of them is sort of like Doolittle, as in Dr. Doolittle, as in we talk to the animals. Have you not seen the link on that? But does that mean?
Yeah. No.
Because they like to tell us what they're doing.
Well,
like Project Puppet Master.
It was, there's a lot of experiments and science going on to do with animals and things, and a lot of it is horrendous stuff that's going on, and they have cloned animals and they've cloned us and they've done all sorts of kinds of stuff. But I had a dream, I think it was last week. It was the night of the last interview that we did, and in this dream I was shown that, and it was a real dream, which I've been having since I was a child, and I was shown that I even forget what it was now, but I did message you about it. There was these ducks, and I'm hearing a different frequency, Miles, like a something. Okay. Okay, so I had this dream, and there was these ducks, and they'd created some type of animal that was chasing these ducks. It was some type of cattle or something that were chasing these ducks, and I wasn't sure if it was symbolic or not of what's going on now, because it was the cattle were very negative. They were like half cows or something, but they'd genetically engineered them or modified them or done something to the DNA, and they were very aggressive, that like almost like a just so aggressive, and they were chasing these ducks. And then I woke up and I was given a name of which I often am given names and places and stuff so that I can look into stuff, and I was given the name the Malvern Corporation, Malvern, the Malvern Corporation. And when I googled it, it came up as being in the UK, because when I'm given names like that, I do Google it. So it came up as being in the UK, and it was something to this, and it was interesting because when it came up on Google Maps, there was 4 things that came up within that area. Now, the Malvern Corporation, I'm not sure what they do, but there is an aerospace company or corporation near it. So it came up with these 4 companies.
At this time, we are not casting any aspersions on the reputations of those companies. We don't know what they make. So it's just that you've had a dream and you're mentioning their names. That's all, okay?
Yeah, that's all. So, yeah, that was my dream. Just that there was. yeah, that was my dream. So I don't really want to share that because I just wanted to give it to you, the information, so you could check it out and see what is going on there. Because
Well,
definitely something.
we'll have a look. We'll have a look.
Yeah, because I don't, when I get information like that, I get given it for a reason. It's not random crap or nonsense or there's meaning behind it. I'm delighted with my camera.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. But we've had that joke. We've had that joke a couple of times. So we'll let's get down to what you really wanted to say this evening. Because this is something you wanted to say or something. So let's say it.
Yeah, there was a couple of follow-ups I wanted to do. I don't maybe not put this in the
Whatever you say right now is going to go on the edit. I don't have time for edits. If you don't want to say it for the recording, don't say it. I know, it just
okay.
Otherwise,
right.
we just have a telephone conversation. We'll just
no,
stop.
no. Okay, so I'll talk to you about that later. All right, so just bear with me just for a few seconds. Okay, so the time frame we are in now is hugely important. We are in a certain time frame where we have. It's a time frame. It's a place in time where we have to take action. It's like a window frame or time frame or curtain frame where we have to take action. We have to step into our own power and be love and light and be positive and be of a higher vibration, a higher frequency. But we also have to take action. There is something I did want to share with you today. There's a couple of things. One of them is about there's been a lot of abuse and child abuse and satanic things coming out, and apparently arrests and things, and Hollywood and has been in the media for a while now to do with child abuse. And I actually hadn't known that because I don't really watch the news or the media. I'm just a channel for the Pleiadians. So
yeah, but I mean, have you seen this on mainstream media, or are you just seeing it? Because there has been stuff in Canada released with police officers talking about a load of paedophile people, 350 or something in Canada.
I haven't seen that, Miles. I've been,
but I mean,
yeah.
we just want to distinguish between mainstream talking about this because they're not, or maybe they are. Maybe there's been a change.
Most of the stuff that I watch these days with what's going on is Facebook and the internet and YouTube, because I know what the media is saying through the TV is a pile of crap. It's not complete nonsense. Complete nonsense.
Now, I wish you'd try to convey your meaning with some kind of gravitas that would explain your true feelings. So you don't think that the mainstream, or as Ian Crane would call them, lamestream media, is not being genuine with the facts or the truth? Is that some kind of a feeling you like to express?
We've been lied to on a mass scale about everything. I back in 2009, I really had the veil taken away from me. I became very aware of what was really going on, and I knew that the media was lying to us and manipulating us and controlling us, and what we were watching wasn't true, and that we were at war. It was a war of the worlds, and that we were being controlled, manipulated, and dumbed down, and being lied to in every system. So media, news, banks, military, police, the governments, the every system that we have on Earth is to set up deliberately by the negative ET agenda. And I'm not saying that they're all reptilians and they're all negative, because these guys at the top are running the show, and they've got puppets or people in place, and some are good people and some are bad people. Sorry, I just lost my earphone there. So I was shown that, back in 2009, and I've always known it inside me, I've always known it. So, when someone goes for periods of a long period of time without watching the news and the media, then you really start to become aware that it is nonsense. When you go and watch it again after a long period, you do become aware that it is nonsense. So it's a game. To them, it's a game to keep us dumbed down and controlled and manipulated, and control the news, the media, the food, the chemtrails, the GMO crops. They've got us in their pockets, and we need to rise above it. We absolutely need to rise above it.
How do you propose we do that? I mean, we're dealing with a lockdown here, just for the sake of the recording. We're in a lockdown. This lockdown has been extended till the end of June. We're speaking on the 17th of April 2020, and there's no end in sight really for this lockdown, and it's everybody obviously has infinite funds to be able to survive this lockdown. The government has promised all this stuff, and nobody can even get through in the phone line to get things done. So obviously that doesn't bode well for social unrest, but continue.
Thanks, Miles. So, okay. When I first started doing the shamanic courses with a guy in Ireland, Paul O'Halloran, who's really a great shaman, I began to wake up to in stages, and for me it was very much a process. So I woke up, and then I processed that, and then I woke up again and processed that. So within different areas, within different aspects, within different realities and different dimensions. And part of that was the Pleiadians as well. So one thing that I know to be absolutely true for me and for a lot of other starseeds is that a starseed comes in from the outside in. Now, what I mean by that is that we're not from Earth. We come from the outside to Earth, and we're born into this system. And for me, I had a lot of abuse as a child, a lot of trauma, a lot of sexual abuse, a lot of poverty. I was raped. I became pregnant. I lost the child. Touch wood. I say that. Touch wood. I lost the child.
I mean, this is on this topic. Did you lose the child, or was the child taken?
Probably both. Probably both. Yeah, I would say both. So, but my point is that and I've healed that to the best ability that I can. I've healed that. And the rest of my family, they wouldn't have had a good time either, my siblings. But they have always pushed it under the carpet, And they've always looked at me as being a black sheep and the stupid one, and not knowing and what I'm doing, and my God, what is she talking about? And that I was stupid, and they thought I was autistic, or they thought there was something wrong with me because I wasn't speaking until I was about, I don't know how old I was. I wasn't talking till, I don't know, about 7 or 8 or something. So anyway, my point is that, they have swept things under the carpet, and this could be a message for humanity and individuals. They've swept things under the carpet, and all of my siblings, my half siblings, have all had mental breakdowns. Now, I believe that is because I've always wanted to get to the fucking truth and the heart of the matter, and why this happened and why that happened, and what was this about and what was that about, and let me go in and see it in all its devastation and its horrendousness, and it's just horrible stuff. I wanted to go in and look at, so I could face it, so I could overcome it. But my siblings wanted to just sweep it under the carpet and shift their attention to something else, which they did. And they've all had mental breakdowns. And I think that what is why I think that because they were avoiding things, and I think that's what we're doing on a mass scale. We've been avoiding things for a long time, and now things are coming out. The shit has really hit the fan, and things are coming out and being exposed that some people are finding it hard to deal with. And I was watching a thing today that I found hard to deal with, but I had to watch it to find out about the truth of what's going on. And it was to do with sexual abuse and Satanism and things like that. It was hard to stomach the truth. It really is. So one thing I just want to really point out is that as a starseed, I was abused and raped and had a fucking horrendous childhood. And I never want to go back there, and I'm never going back there. But I'm actually grateful, very grateful, that I had those experiences, because they put me on the spiritual path.
Exactly. Yeah.
At times when I was being abused, I left my body and the Pleiadians connected with me. So therefore, without that experience, I wouldn't have developed spiritually. I wouldn't have had that experience to the extreme that experience is so ingrained in me that I know that we are not alone. We've never been alone. We are starseeds. And the reason I had such a horrendous childhood, I've been shown, is because I am a starseed, because I am a rainbow warrior, because I am an indigo child, because I am a psychic, a medium. There's a lot of subcategories for starseeds. And I've now come to understand that a starseed is also a rainbow warrior, which is a lot. You can look up the prophecies. One thing I really want to get across, Miles, is that as starseeds, we come in and they have some energetic tracking device, both the positive, where we come from, so the positive star seeds where we come from, and the negative, both track us and both know our energy.
Well, that's certainly true with the negative. They can see you coming almost.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to really point this out because no one's talking about this. So the positive are able to locate and track us and connect with us. And that's why they connected with me. They connected with me because they knew who I was. They knew I was Pleiadian energy. And I'm no different to any other starseed. But the negative also knew where I was going to be born, who I was going to be born to, my whole life unfolding. And they knew that. So they targeted me from a very young age. But they must have known who I was, where I was, and my energy in order to put those negative men and people in front of me in order to abuse and rape me. So that is part of the negative ET agenda. You know, anyone who has been, I would say anyone who's been abused is a starseed, and that's why they've done it. They've abused kids on a mass scale because they are starseeds, because they don't want the truth coming out. When you abuse a child, you take away their power, you take away their energy, you take away their voice, you take away their sense of self, their self-worth, their self-esteem, their self-assertiveness. You take away their voice. So they end up being that child in the back of the class that is seen as the dumb kid or the stupid kid without a voice, with that is not worth bothering with. That is not seen, that those kids are not seen. And that is why they do it. And there is a huge amount of people coming out now and saying that these children have been abused. And those kids have been abused because they are starseeds, to take away their power back. And this is on a mass scale when you see the things, the horrendous atrocities that are coming out at the moment.
I mean, I think especially these brilliant children at school who've got so much ability and promise that they're actually fed these horrendous drugs, which really they power up the metabolic rate so much that they burn out, and that's the only thing that. And it's called attention deficit syndrome or some bloody thing. But those children are in the front line, and the children you're talking about are in the front line.
Yeah, they are. There's the starseeds, and the ones that are abused the most and damaged the most are the ones that have actually internally have the most power, and that's why they've been abused the most. So we need to recognize that. I really want to reach out to people that have been abused at the moment, because those are the warriors at the top of the energetic power within themselves and abilities. Yeah, so I really want to reach out to.
Is it something that you'd like to? Is it something that you'd like to embrace, or is it some organization that you'd like to recommend for them to help, or what?
I would actually like to start doing some type of online workshop or course or something to help to in their own process to take their own power back and to work with that, because I've come through it and I've come through the other side. Yes, I've still got issues that I need to work on, and sometimes I fall back and sometimes I'm ahead. So it's ongoing. It's ongoing. You know, you don't go through that stuff. You can't sweep that stuff under the carpet. You have to work through the dark days, and it's a process. It's a healing process, a healing journey. You know, I watched some video today that I wanted to go and vomit, Miles. I felt sick to my stomach.
Do you want to mention what it was? Is it something you want to discuss?
It was a video that was, I don't remember the name of it, but it was recorded. It was sent to me by Shirley Batty, who's in Southampton.
Yeah, Shirley Batty is part of, I think, a MASH Southampton. She's in the old days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So she has it on her Facebook, but it's an old video from the 70s or the 60s. So it's not a new thing. It goes way back. So it was just horrendous, and the stuff that she was talking about, you know, it's sickening and it's unbelievable. Because it's so sickening, you wouldn't imagine that people could do that.
You want to sort of describe that without describing it, without going into the detail?
I don't, Miles. I don't. You know, if people want to watch it, then go and have a look at it. I've put it on my Facebook, and it's on Shirley Batty's Facebook. I don't even know who recorded it it was done by a journalist. It was done quite professionally by someone in the media. But I do wonder what became of that little girl.
Was it a particular case?
It was, yeah.
Is it without mentioning the case? I mean, I don't think it's fruitful to.
No, I don't remember the details. But there was a lot of satanic stuff, and she'd been used as a slave. She was under their control, and she was very young. So I think I've said enough about that. You know, but there's, you know, people just want to sweep things under the carpet, and we can't do that anymore. We're in a situation now where we have to face things. We have to face up to the reality of what's going on in the world, and there's so much going on.
What is that reality? What's got you fired up today to what's got you fired up today to do this recording? What are you really want to focus on in terms of the point you want to get across?
We can no longer turn our heads and turn our eyes and keep our sunglasses on to the horrendous negative stuff that's going on in the world. We can't. We absolutely can't, because that will keep us encaged into that mentality. We need to take the glasses off. We need to open our eyes to the horrendous atrocities that are being committed on earth as we speak, and we need to balance it within ourselves. So yes, we need to be love and light, but we do need to be aware of what's going on. Well, we need balance within ourselves, which is very much to do with the ascension. It's about balance and love and light, and it's all tied in. It's tied into the wars against white and black, against religion, against whatever it is. We need to bring back balance and ground in love and light. Yes, accept that these things are going on, but not to react in fear, to stand in your own power, to be love and light, and really to hold that vibration in. And when you feel it, bring it in more. And when you feel it again, bring it in more, and then bring it in more and more and more and more and more. And that is what ascension is. We're shifting. Our consciousness is turning on its head and inside out and upside down. And so is the world we live in and the earth. Stars are aligning. Everything is changing. Everything is changing. There is no going back to normality. There is no going back to normality. And so I feel my vibration feels very high at the moment. I'm in a good place because I'm not watching the media. But we need to connect in with the highest feeling of love that we can, and keep doing that and keep doing that until it gets higher and higher and higher and higher, until we are at the highest we possibly can be, and then go higher and higher and higher. We need to wake up and step away from the matrix and the lies of what we've been shown and taught and dumbed down and controlled. And part of that is the school system. It is the school system. It's a program. It's yeah. Okay, so a couple of other things I wanted to mention is that a lot of us are bombarded and attacked negatively, and that includes light workers and people like myself and people like Miles that are doing the good work and trying to reach people and reaching people who are in need of help and assistance at these times. And so I was just saying there, Miles, that a lot of us are targeted negatively, and I've noticed several negative comments on one of the videos that one of the interviews that we did, and I've noticed that their energy is very low, very negative, of a lower vibration, and that we are targeted by the negative lower agendas. So we need to take back our sovereignty. We need to raise our vibration. You know, we cannot let this happen. This will not happen. They will not win the war of the worlds. They will not take our power away. They will not claim ownership of the earth.
How do you intend?
I have heard it said.
How do you intend to sort of not make that happen? Because I mean, we've got thousands of tunnels allegedly, thousands and thousands of children, and all sorts of terrible stories. I mean, where do you see that actually happening? I mean, what's the issue that you really wanted to get across on that issue?
When we raise our frequency, when we raise our vibration, when we raise our
okay,
energy.
I'm sorry. How do you intend people to do that? What's involved? I keep hearing this, raising your vibration, things, but what exactly does that really mean? I mean, I'm to the lay person and to the wider public.
Stop eating meat that is affecting your emotions. Stop eating food that is affecting your vibration. Stop eating or drinking water that is lowering your immune system, that is affecting your DNA, that is affecting your psychic abilities, your natural abilities, your intuition, your awareness, your God-given right, your sacredness. You know, we are beautiful, divine, amazing beings. We have abilities on a higher level to tap into, that we can tap into when we eliminate things from our diet, when we eliminate things from our lifestyle, like drugs and smoking and alcohol and certain foods, and sugar is a big one. When we start to eliminate these things,
even on cold Weetabix on a winter's morning.
Even on cold Weetabix on the morning.
Or shredded wheat.
Or shredded wheat, yeah.
Oh dear.
You know, our food is sprayed. You know, we find a local honey farmer. Find a local honey farmer that has natural honey, that is not, where the bees aren't sprayed. So start sourcing local businesses that don't use sprays,
but this is a problem right now that with this emergency that we're in, to bring it into the current situation is that we're having a situation where the small businesses are being wiped out. I mean, this emergency is going to wipe a lot of small businesses out.
Yeah. Well, we need to take action, Miles. We need to replace, and this is going to help small businesses as well. We need to sort our cupboards out, start growing our own food, and we need to help local businesses like we never have before. We need to.
Yeah, but we're locked. I mean, sorry, we're locked down by an international lockdown emergency. How do you expect any of that to be, apart from good intentions, but to actually mean something to those people? I'm going to push you on this.
What do you mean?
Well, it's I mean, it's well enough to say, oh, we've got to help these small businesses, we've got to help all this. We're looking at 38%, some horrendous number of GDP collapse, almost half the ability of this country to generate anything. There's going to be like I mean, the scale of the way this is working out with this extension now to June, who the hell can survive that without earning anything? And the answer to that is virtually nobody. I mean, there's just corporates and all that. I mean, where do you see, you're saying nice things, but where do you see a solution for this apart from saying nice things? That's my point. I mean, you're a Pleiadian. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay, love. We need to change our perspective. We need to realise that we can be self-sustainable. Now, I'm not saying we can do it overnight because we can't, but we need to start progress. We need to start taking back our power because we are powerful beings. We can move mountains. We need to stop sourcing the supermarkets for our food when the food is horrendously sprayed and chemicals and GMOs and chemtrails and all that stuff is extremely bad for us. It's killing us. And then we go to pharmaceutical companies or medication to help to cure those things, and that kills us even more.
Yeah, but this is once again. I mean, we've got a woman in jail in France because she was part of the scientific team. Along with I think John Noakes. No, that's and I mean he's been wiped out all his business, all because he was able to sell something which actually cured cancer. Although he couldn't say that, but it does. And persecuted, and the pharmaceutical industries are pursuing anybody who gives any kind of positive solution to actually helping people for cancer by law in this country. So
we need to come together, Miles, and we need to protest. We need to stand up and say, no, this is not okay. What I've been getting so much of lately is if you conquer and divide and united we stand. And I've been getting those quotes coming to me again and again and again and over and over and over. Conquer and divide, united we stand. Now, that is what we need to do, and we need to do it en masse. We need to come together and say, no, this is not okay. It is not okay that you've put this person in prison, or you're not allowing this person to do whatever it is, or to release cures for cancer, or to release free energy, or to release free food.
Well, there's a multi-billion, trillion-dollar pharmaceutical industry which is mildly sort of not wanting to do that because they are making a fortune out of making us sick.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about. We need to start shifting our perspective and understanding that they do not have our best interests at heart, because they don't give a fuck about us, Miles. They don't. They don't give a shit. The people running the corporations and the governments and the royal families and blah, blah, blah. The list is endless. It's negative ET energy on the highest level. So we need to shift our perspective and understand what's really going on. I know I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but it is important. It does make a difference. It does make a difference. When I was abused as a child and raped and all that stuff, I said to myself, I will be damned if I let you get away with that. I'm going to go away and I'm going to heal myself, and I'm not going to be a statistic. And I was adamant and determined. We need backbone. We need determination. And that determination actually came about because of the abuse. I will not back down. I will not shut up. I will not be overwhelmed. I will not be dumbed down. I will not be put down and my power taken away from me. I've had that, and I'm done with it. I'm done. I'm done with the media. I'm done with the systems. I will not shut up. And I have been targeted on a huge scale over the last couple of years. And I'm still here. I'm still talking. I'm still using my voice. I'm still trying to reach people, still trying to connect with people. And I know that people are hearing the same thing from me sometimes over and over again. But that's what we need to do. Stop listening to what I'm saying and start going away and feeling it. Feeling your own energy, your own vibration, your own meditation, your own voice, and taking action. Start buying from your local companies. Go and buy honey instead of sugar. Go and eat natural fruit. I was in Nepal a couple of years ago, about 10 years ago, I couldn't believe the fruit I was eating. Tasted so good.
Yeah, but the thing is that doesn't grow in downtown Wiltshire or in the valleys of Wales or Scotland. I mean, we don't have the climate to do that, and it certainly isn't going to improve. It's going to get colder and wetter.
But it showed
but where does that solution come from? Hydroponic gardens or things like that?
I'm sorry, I'm being ignorant now. I don't know what a hydroponic garden is.
Well, I don't really know what it is, but it means some kind of growing food in a very otherwise hostile environment, like underground, where you don't get enough light, or in your apartment. They can be small things, but they are able to be grown sort of almost. You can grow a lot of food viably for a small group of people in your apartment. So far as I understand, somebody could correct us on that on the comments. But we'll round up if you want to get your sort of a couple of main points across. And it's good to see that we're in colour today.
Yeah. We need to come together. We need to come together en masse. We need to protest peacefully if we can. We need to meditate together if we can. If we can't do it physically, then we need to start.
I'm going to interrupt again.
Via the internet.
Carol, there's been some very seriously negative effects with these global meditations. They've been just food for the negative ETs or Satanists.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, a lot of people have been really hit by these global meditation tricks.
What's happened?
Well, they've taken a huge amount of negative hits that people have had to withdraw. I mean, these global meditations are just a feeding frenzy for these people.
When you say hits, do you mean energy or
energetic
violence?
hits, and absolutely zapped, targeted? You're just going there and saying, "Hey, take me," because they're not using protection when they do these global meditations. Global meditations are very, very bad news. They've been used before just to suck all the energy off light workers, love and light, and away they go, just reeling in. Particularly the last one, quite recently.
I haven't heard of that. I would like to look more into that. But we do need to protect ourselves. We need to be careful of who's running the meditation groups. We need to.
I mean, exactly.
I mean, that's key. When we look for shamans and healers and tarot readings, we need to, or someone to help us with something in the spiritual field. We need to be very careful of who we're, of who that person is, because that person is the same as us, and they've gone through stuff as well. So you don't know what you need to check out who you're going to, and who's running the meditation, and who's doing the shamanic work, and who they are. You need to get.
Well, how do you do that? I'm going to nail you on this, because this is serious. People have really had a bad time. They had to withdraw from Facebook and things in the last couple of weeks because of all this. I mean, there was one individual who decided to go abroad to experience ayahuasca and all that, and her shamans or whoever was in charge allowed her to get up and fall and hit her head on the floor, and it was a concrete bloody floor. I mean, it was crazy, and that kind of thing is just not on.
No, it's not. People need to use those experiences are not okay. They're not right. and that people need to use those negative experiences that have hurt them or damaged them or had a negative impact on them, and take their power back and use that as an energy force to help them to take their power back more and more and more and more. Find your voices, find your energy, find your love, find your motivation. We have a very time frame. This is not going to last forever. I was told a couple of weeks ago when I first started doing the interviews that this would last 3 to 6 months. So that was probably about a month ago now, but that's what I was told. And I don't know if that was I think it was more of an energetic time period. So 3 to 6 months time period. I'm feeling December as being quite important, and I only got that today. But there's mass UFO sightings as well, and I've been saying that for a few weeks now, and now people are starting to report stuff on Facebook and everything. And I had a woman just before I was doing the show with you now, Miles, where she Facebooked me and saying, "Oh, Carol, I'm seeing stuff in the sky," and she lives down the road from me, like a 10-minute walk. So we need to
any particular part of the sky. What sort of sighting was it?
No, she didn't say. She just said she was seeing things in the sky moving.
Well, this is part 3. Just finally, what do you want to say as a sort of a sending message? And if people want to contact you or get to see about what you're talking about, helping and all that, they can contact you on Facebook, isn't it?
Yeah, I've just started to get on board with my YouTube channel, so I'm starting to do a lot more videos and stuff. So if you come and subscribe to me on YouTube, that would be great. And also
give us a name, your YouTube channel, please.
Carol Noonan.
Okay, fine, that's good.
And most of my social media is the Pleiadian Child, or Carol Noonan, the Pleiadian Child. I do have I've got a free download for that I've put into a book, which is about the coronavirus. I need to update that, but that's still available. And my videos are all on my website and YouTube, and I've got the Facebook as well. I do
and those websites are the website. Name them. It's useful to name these things.
It's the Pleiadianchild.com, and I've also got my book here as well, which is my first book. So that's my first book, The Pleiadian Child. But yeah, so much I could say, Miles. So much I could say. Well, thank you so much for having me on the show.
It's good. Well, it's good to see you, and it's good to see you clearly, and it's nice and it's good. So we'll call that a day during the coronavirus lockdown. This is what this context of this discussion is about, and it's good night from me, and
good night from me.
Okay, thank you.